Hi everyone, it's Kylie again, and this is my reflection post for Module 12, Internet Safety. So why is Internet safety important? Internet safety is paramount to protect students in many ways and teach them to be responsible digital citizens. When students are using the internet at school, they need to be protected and know how to protect themselves. They need to be aware of conducting themselves in an appropriate manner, not talk to people that they do not know, not engage in inappropriate content such as adult activities, violence, hate speech, risky or illegal behavior, not give out their personal information, and many countless other issues. When a student is exposed to inappropriate content or witness someone else engaging, they should turn off their computer, tell a trusted adult, report it to the teacher, website, or application. Students need to protect themselves by utilizing privacy settings and not post any content that could reflect negatively on themselves. Students need to realize that what happens when they are on the internet and logged into their username, that information is recorded and reflective of who they are as a person. That is perhaps the biggest issue to address with students in internet safety. Their web presence is real. It's not like a video game character, and that they will not experience consequences from their actions. And the next question, what is my role as an educator in teaching internet safety to my students? My role as an educator is to first let my students know that I am a safe and trusted person who they can tell or report anything to. My job is not just to teach, but to make sure everyone is safe. I've always liked the quote, if you see something, say something. I would tell my students to be aware of what they're doing and what is going on around them, to be active participants always, and look out for one another. I am also responsible for providing internet safety policies created by the school and implementing them into my classroom. Throughout the year, I think I would ask the class if there is anything they would wish to speak to me privately about, or any concerns that they have in regards to use over the internet. I also would occasionally look on some of the technology blogs to see if there are any new threats or issues occurring in classrooms so I can inform my students. It would also be good for me to refresh students' memory of internet safety throughout the year, so they are always thinking about it. The next question, specifically describe how I can teach internet safety in my future classroom. After looking through the educational websites for internet safety, I would utilize information found on all of the websites to teach my students. I would create a few posters with main points and reminders about internet safety for students to view in my classroom. I would also use a PowerPoint from the NetSmarts website or create my own to present to my students. If I have a website through the school for my classroom, I would make sure to give students a form explaining everything that would be posted or blogged about, such as pictures, projects. The students would take this form home to their parents to sign so they would also be aware. And then I would walk through the policies with the students as well. And, excuse me. I lost my spot here. So what were my thoughts after exploring the NetSmarts website? One of the best parts about the NetSmarts website is that it's free. It had a lot of helpful tools to teach kids not just about internet safety, but safety in general. I was impressed that they had pre-made PowerPoint presentations for teachers to download and give. The tip sheets are visually engaging and provide a lot of useful safety information. There are also classroom activities that you can do with your class. There are videos that are in cartoon form, which I think is smart to engage the students and then open at the end of the video for questions and answers to the teacher. The website also addresses safety issues for middle and high school students as well. I really like the blog that addresses current issues. Every day there are new and upcoming threats and safety issues. Referring to this type of blog would allow teachers to keep their students informed on the latest safety tips. Overall, the website is well organized and formulated specifically to teach safety to K-12 students. And since we got that email saying that the training on the NetSmarts website was not up, I decided to look at PowerPoint training on the NetSmarts online safety for tweens junior high students. I feel that junior high is a good age to begin to talk about more involved, inappropriate, and possibly dangerous issues that can occur while being online. The PowerPoint itself was very well done, engaging, and had great presenter notes for the teacher to accurately deliver the presentation. One of the biggest issues that young students do not take seriously is the fact that once you post something online, you can't take it back. It will be linked to your name forever. Just like the use of the application Snapchat. Although you can't access the supposedly deleted image or video, the code from the program is out in the cloud space and it can still be accessed if you know how to. Addressing text messages is another important issue to talk about because drama and rumors can get out of control very quickly. The PowerPoint also addressed the fact that students have the right to say no to inappropriate requests, messages, etc. They have the power over their decisions, and sometimes what is right is not always the easiest choice, yet the most important one. And of course, the horrible issue of cyberbullying. I feel very fortunate that cyberbullying was not yet a thing when I was younger in school. It can be so easy for kids to say and do mean things when they are not face-to-face with each other. This PowerPoint hit on all important safety issues in regard to the internet and technology. And then the main points from the youth safety article that we were to read was cyberbullying, sexual solicitation, and unwanted exposure to sexual content, the role of privacy, parent and community involvement, and intergenerational gaps in attitudes towards internet safety. Cyberbullying is defined when actions are carried out using a technological medium to intimidate or convey an intent to harm. The communication often involves repetition of actions and a power imbalance between the victim and the perpetrator. Sexual solicitation and unwanted exposure to sexual content includes requests for sexual content, talk, sending or soliciting sexual photographs, or the disclosure of unwanted sexual information. Unwanted or accidental exposure to sexual content refers to any circumstance in which youth are confronted with suggested content such as sexual imagery videos while surfing on the web for non-sexual content. The role of privacy requires youth to be more proactive in their online privacy. This requires them to be more aware of the consequences of disclosing identifying information and of guidelines for determining when it is appropriate to do so. Parent and community involvement usually involves monitoring youth through online technologies and software or in-person supervision, educating youth about potential risks, and attempting to teach appropriate online behaviors. And then finally, intergenerational gaps refer to differences between adult perceptions of what risks young people face online and young people's understanding and use of online safety. Though much of the policy agenda on online risks and managing youth internet safety has been guided by adult perceptions of online risk rather than discovering what concerns children themselves. And then lastly, the useful information I was able to take article was, although schools can filter and monitor student traffic of their use of the internet can also be used at home and outside of school. The article stated that there is a lack of communication between parents and their children about internet usage and safety because of the intergenerational gaps. I don't feel like I'm that old, but there are programs and threats with the use of the internet and technology that I have never heard of or experienced personally. It needs to be stressed to students to immediately report cyberbullying. It goes mostly unreported for weeks, months, or years. There needs to be an effective, more helpful way for students to report instances before harm is done. I was surprised to learn that there is not a standardized framework or definition for assessing cyberbullying or online sexual harassment. I think that when this is achieved and more studies are conducted, we will be able to lower the occurrence or prevent it from even happening. There is the same issue in regards to students taking selfies and then the images are later used in exploitative ways. It seems that there's a lot of research studies and framework that still needs to be conducted to address many of the issues of internet safety. So, goodness, that was a long video. If you stuck through, thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you all had a good weekend. Thanks.